All right, here we go. We're talking about congruence this chapter. And for things to be congruent, there has to be a rigid motion that flips, slides, rotates, or a combination of those rigid motions that maps one figure to another. Okay. Now, when you map figures to another, you look at their size, you look at their angles. What do we notice about every angle of each of these figures? They're all 90 degrees. So the angles are congruent. Okay? If we look at BC, that's 1, IH is 1. CD is 1, IJ is 1. DE is 2, JK is 2. EF is 2, KL is 2. FA is 3, LG is 3, AB is 3, GH is 3. Are these congruent? Yes, because every corresponding side and corresponding angle are congruent. So, we have 2 vocab words this chapter, so you're not getting a vocab sheet. You'll not get a vocab quiz because there's only 2 vocab words. 2 figures are congruent if the rigid motion maps one figure to the other, which means if every side and every angle are the same, then it makes congruent figures. A rigid motion is sometimes called a congruence transformation because it flips one figure to another. Now, what is super important here is the order of the letters. Okay? A corresponds to D, B corresponds with E, and C corresponds with F. So that's why ABC is congruent to DEF. Okay? So, as long as the same markings are down, then that is congruent to that side or that angle. But order is important. We'll get into the order being important when we get into triangles on Thursday. Okay. What 2 transformations can we make this go to this? It takes 2 transformations. What's 1? Well, see how this is kind of pointing up and this is pointing down? So we must do what to it?
Flip it.
Not just a flip. A flip would be like this. It would be a rotation. Okay, you'd rotate it. But I don't want to rotate it yet. I want to move Z on top of C. How do I move Z on top of C? What's that called when you slide it?
Sliding.
What's it called? The official word? A translation. So we're going to translate everything 3 to the right and 0 up. So if we translate everything 3 to the right, 3 to the right, 3 to the right, 3 to the right, it now looks like this. And now we're going to rotate this point Y so it's on top of B. Since this is a straight line, how far is that rotation going to be? 180 degrees. Now rotation is a small letter R. Reflection is capital R, rotation is small r. So it's a rotation of 180 degrees around point C. We go not around the origin, but around point C. We rotate 180 degrees, and that maps it. Now, on the test, there was one mapping question for chapter 4. I took that off because it was kind of one that might trip you up a little bit, and I don't want to trip you up on the test. Okay? Here's a mapping one that should not trip you up. Okay? How do we get ABC down to A prime, B prime, C prime? Well, just look at how do you move A to A. How do you move A to A? You translate it. How far to the right? 1 to the right. How far down? 4 down. So it's a 1, -4. So if you can translate things, okay, or rotate or reflect, you make congruence transformations. Now, out of these 3 triangles, 2 are the same, 1 is different. 2 are congruent, 1 is not congruent. Which of the 2 are congruent? Which 2 are congruent? Brooklyn's got it. What one's not congruent? EFG is not congruent. And the reason why EFG is not congruent, see how you go up 2 into the right 3? You go 2 in one direction, 3 in another direction. Here you go 3 and 1. Here you go 1 and 3. Okay? 3 and 1, 3 and 1. 3 and 1 are the same. 3 and 2 are not. This is not the same. So I'd write triangle ABC is congruent to triangle. And now we got to get the order of letters right. A corresponds with which letter? L, K, or J? J. B corresponds with K, and C corresponds with L. Those two are congruent. Because if you go 1 over 4 down, 1 over 4 down, 4 over 5 up, 4 over 5 up, they'll be the same distance. Okay? All right. Are those two congruent? Yes or no? Yes. Because see how this one's over 1 up, down 1, over 1, down 1, down 2, over 3, up 1, 2, up 2 over, 2 up 2 over. Everything's the same, so yes, they are congruent. Okay? Are these two puzzle pieces congruent? Yes, because it's just a reflection across the line of reflection. This boat, the person making the boat is going to join this piece to this piece by joining together a puzzle joint. Okay? So to get them together, he has to make a puzzle joint like this. What type of transformation maps A to B? What type of translation maps A to B? Or what type of transformation? I just gave you the answer. It's a translation. Okay, so as long as you can do a rigid motion, it makes congruent figures. The first section will not take you very long. Okay, there's only 9 problems. Some people were done in 5 minutes. So, but we are doing one section before lunch and then one section after lunch. Let's get to work on the first section, please. Tyler, you will have to take a vocab quiz here after a little bit. Okay? Over last chapter's vocab. So I would look at your vocab sheet before you take it.